Zack Films is traumatizing because I'm around to his craziest animations, from seeing a person stick a whole light bulb inside his mouth to seeing maggots eat human insides.
He put the light bulb in his
Oh
mouth
my
for an
God.
online challenge, but once inside, the bulb got stuck behind his teeth.
Yeah, Zack Films is traumatizing, bro. What?
And he couldn't open his mouth wide enough to remove it. He went to a fire station for help, but they couldn't safely remove it without breaking the glass. At the hospital, doctors used a special tool to gently open his mouth wider. They had to dislocate one side of his jaw to create enough space. Then they slowly pulled the light bulb out without breaking it. Afterwards, they popped his jaw back in and he was able to recover.
Yo, what are we doing? Bro, do not follow the footsteps of this, bro. I don't care if it's for online challenge. Bro, what the heck? Yeah. If we're just starting with this, bro, Zack Films will only get traumatizing throughout the video.
An airplane dropped a frozen chunk of sewage over
Ew,
a park,
bro.
according to the legend. It allegedly fell toward a man balancing on a seesaw for fun. The block hit the other end of the seesaw with perfect force, launching him straight into the air. He flew high before landing chest first on the crossbar of a swing set. The impact broke his ribs, which punctured his heart and lungs, causing massive internal bleeding. Within seconds, he died from the injury, collapsing lifelessly on the swing set, according to the story.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just speechless because this is just like just straight up traumatizing, bro. Bro died to sewage. That's crazy. The thing is, planes don't just drop ice like that.
As she sneezed, it
Whoa.
ruptured a disc in her spine, and when it collapsed, a nerve got trapped between her two vertebrae. Suddenly, she couldn't move, and even though she had 3 separate operations, she still suffered extreme pain. For the next 2 years, she was bedridden, needing painkillers so strong she would hallucinate. But finally, doctors inserted a plastic cage around her spine, relieving pressure on the pinched nerve. And within a week, she was walking again.
Let's
and
go.
holding in her sneezes.
Bro, what? Bro, imagine a sneeze, something you do on a daily occurrence, freaking ruin your life for 2 years, bro. A sneeze that literally shattered her spine. The doctor who was able to treat her and make her walk again is the true hero, yes sir. Crazy how the human can either easily survive in certain scenarios with minimal injuries or get paralyzed by a sneeze. Yeah. The torture this poor lady went through, insane.
If you jumped out and aimed for a giant
Oh.
trampoline, you might think it would bounce you hundreds of feet back
Yeah, bro,
up
this is
into the
Slime
air.
Box,
But
bro,
in
from
reality,
Minecraft.
hitting the trampoline at that speed would feel like slamming into concrete.
What?
The force would cause the fabric to rip instantly,
What?
and the springs and metal poles would bend and snap from the impact.
No way.
You wouldn't even bounce. You just crash straight through to the ground.
Oh, thanks, Zack Films, for telling me this, bro. Thank you. Trust me, bro. We did not think you would bounce back up. That's what I'm saying, bro. Pay respect for the person who went through this.
If all the rain from a storm combined together into a single drop,
What the
you would get a
heck?
raindrop about the size of half a football field. As it fell from the clouds,
That's a
it
whole
would speed
meteor,
up
bro.
like a meteor, and when it finally hit the ground, its massive force would instantly vaporize your body,
Vaporize.
leaving nothing behind. Now, 50 of these drops would release the same energy as an atomic bomb, blasting a huge crater into the earth.
Wow, okay, a vapor. I don't know. So basically, rain is a deadly for small insects. I guess, bro.
When you slice a watermelon in half and in
Okay.
half again, then cut it into wedges, the sticky juices cover your face as you eat. And since it doesn't fit your mouth, you actually lose some of the fruit. Instead, cut the watermelon in half on the short side and flip it over. Next, slice even strips in one direction, then again in the other direction, making a grid. When you pull out a piece, most of them will be the perfect size to fit in your mouth.
Whoa. Wait, I'm actually learning from Zack Films. Most of his videos are literally traumatizing, cursed, or disgusting, or crazy, bro. But this is the first time I'm actually learning something. Finally, an actual information video and not some skin being peeled of piece by piece. That's what I'm saying, bro. Literally. These animators don't need a raise. They need to cut watermelons.
If you happen to get kidney stones, you could ride a roller coaster and let the shakes dislodge them from the tissue walls. Then, as the coaster moves, the change in speed shakes your whole body, and this makes them move into your bladder, where they can finally pass through when you pee. Now, not every ride is able to do this, but Disney's Big Thunder Mountain does this so well that some people go there just to get rid of their kidney stones.
Are we serious? Keep in mind that this is a very painful experience experience that can range from mild discomfort to childbirth. Oh my gosh. I mean, you literally have a freaking, I don't know how big kidney stones are, but I'm pretty sure it's like, it's quite some size to come out of your urethra. Bro, Zack never runs out of ideas. The way the stone flew and hit the toilet sounded like the Minecraft digging sound.
It swam straight towards her with a steel hook glinting inside. And instead of turning away, she reached in with her hand inches from its teeth and plucked the hook free. Now on her next dive, another shark appeared with a hook, and then another swam up to her, all with hooks buried in their mouths. Now they would thrash and swim away as she worked to free it, but they would keep coming back until it was gone. And over the years, she has removed more than 300 hooks.
Whoa, that's really cool. Wait, what the heck? Yo, I gotta know who's this. Yo, shark going, yo, dude, some human help me. Hey, go 1 mile on their way, you'll find someone to help you, bro, shark.
He tossed the hard drive into the trash, thinking it was blank. But a few months later, he realized it was actually his key to 8,000 Bitcoin, which is worth over $800 million today. He begged the city council to let him dig up the landfill, but they refused, saying he could damage the surroundings. So he made a plan that used special drones and robot dogs, hiring a team of experts to carry it out. And he even tried to buy the whole landfill. But to this day, the hard drive is still buried somewhere under millions of pounds of trash.
Yo, bro, yo, the amount of regret he had to face is, bro, $800 million? Bro, that's generations of your family being okay, bro.
He climbs in through a zipper on the belly, slipping his feet into Snuffy's giant ones.
What is this?
With his hands, he controls the eyes and mouth while speaking in Snuffy's voice. And a bike handle attached to a PVC tube allows him to raise and lower the trunk. Behind him, a second puppeteer wears the back legs, and each movement is carefully rehearsed to ensure Snuffleupagus doesn't trip over himself.
Okay, yeah, Snuffleupagus. Yeah, I don't, who is this, bro?
He leapt into the air, let out a whistle, and finished with a perfectly timed fart right in front of the king. It was part of a carefully rehearsed performance, and the king loved it. Every Christmas, he act for the ruler and his court, and in return, he was given land, a house, and money. But when he performed his act for the new king, he didn't think farting was funny, and he lost his status in land.
What? Oh, that's unfortunate, bro. The King Seymour was way ahead of his time. Yeah, bro, nowadays, farting is hilarious. Especially, like, it's a quiet room in school, and someone just lets out a freaking bomb. What do you do for a living? Bring humor from farting, I guess.
He climbed up into the plane's wheel compartment, hoping to see the world. But he didn't realize the wheel compartment door would open again in the sky. You see, he had run away from home because he wanted to travel, and when his parents caught him and put him into boarding school, he ran away from there as well. He snuck into the airport before smuggling himself onto the plane, and as it took off, he thought he would finally get his wish. But as soon as the door opened again, the boy dropped out. And at that exact same moment, a man was testing out a new camera lens. He snapped this chilling photo, capturing the death of the boy and his dreams.
Wow, that's really bad, y'all. Y'all, rethink. I get it, you know, y'all want to do your thing, right? But just rethink, you know, just take a second thought, like a good second thought in reasoning. Should you continue with this, bro? Because that's so unfortunate. And look at this, bro. This is real, bro. That's so sad. Capturing someone's last moment by accident is surreal. When the animation transitioned to real photo, my nerves felt all tingly. Rest in peace, kid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
If you zoomed in really close on your face, you'd find tiny mites crawling in your pores. These microscopic bugs eat your skin's natural oils, but they have no way to poop it out, meaning the poop builds up inside their bodies throughout their lives. And when they finally die, all that stored up waste spills out onto your skin. Your immune system freaks out, causing red bumps and swelling. So if your face turns red and irritated, it's probably because of poop.
Wait, so all that irritation because of these bugs pooping on my face? Bro, this is what I'm gonna slap slap my face so I can get rid of those bugs that poop on my face that cause my irritation on my face, bro. Zach, stop talking about poop. Zach, I could have gone my whole life without knowing that.
He molded his own feces into a chisel and waited for it to freeze in the frigid temperatures. He was trapped under his sled in the middle of a blizzard and needed to escape. As the snow piled up, he realized he couldn't break through it with his bare hands. His body heat was melting the snow, increasing his risk of hypothermia, and he was running out of time. Once hardened, he used the makeshift tool to carve his way out of the icy tomb, which ended up saving his life.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that, bro. No, honestly, glad he's alive, but bro, I would never think to use my own poop as a chisel to escape the buried snow. All jokes aside, dude's actually really smart. Yeah, bro.
Have you ever had to poop as soon as you stepped into a bookstore?
What?
Well, you're not alone. You see, this happens because it's a relaxing place, and your brain tells your gut that it's a safe time to go. It triggers your colon to suddenly release, and if this happens more than once, your brain will connect the bookstore with your need to poop, training you to go to the bathroom every time you visit.
Yeah, you know what? I'ma just move on to the next traumatizing short you have to offer, bro.
The flies lay the eggs inside the cheese, and when they hatch, the maggots eat through it, releasing an acid that breaks down the fats. As they squirm, the cheese softens, and when it's ready, it's served with the live maggots still inside. Now, the maggots will jump off if you don't hold your hand over the sandwich while eating it. But once you swallow them, they can survive in your intestines, eating you from the inside. Because of this, the cheese is actually illegal, but millions of dollars worth is still made and sold on the black market to this day.
Yo, who's eating that? Like what? Like your maggots, bro? That's just, bro. You know what? You do you. Live your own life, okay? Just don't die. The reason they still buy the cheese is because you can put the cheese in a bag and wait until the worms suffocate to death, then eat almost safely. Almost. I don't care. I'm not taking a chance, bro. I'm not eating maggots. Or the reminiscence of maggots, bro. Like, I'm not. Like, maggots!
Straight up and releases the bomb before flying upside down and backwards. As it straightens up and flies away, it stays out of enemy range. At the same time, the bomb rises high into the sky, arcing toward the target. And when it reaches its highest point, it drops back down toward the target. By the time it hits, the aircraft is far enough away to avoid the blast.
I did not know if planes fly upside down to drop bombs. That's kind of interesting. Imagine being a soldier and thinking that the plane was doing aerobatics while it was busy doing its business, releasing a bomb. Yeah, bro. Definition of hit and run.
If you pour high-proof alcohol into an empty gas tank, it gets pulled through a pump and sprayed into the engine where spark plugs ignite it, and it might burn just enough to drive. But alcohol doesn't burn like gasoline. It doesn't get as hot, meaning it produces less energy. This would cause the engine to stall and jerk, and you would only make it a mile or so before it sputters out.
That's not bad. I mean, hey, if you're really out of gas, I mean, hey, do not take this advice, but hey, like, let's say you're in a zombie apocalypse and you're out of gas, that's what you gotta do. Instead of being the driver being drunk, the engine is.
They would pee on rags, then tie them around their faces. You see, in World War I, enemy soldiers released chlorine gas toward the trenches, and if soldiers breathed in this gas, their lungs burned, making it impossible to breathe. So the pee-soaked rags would weaken the gas, protecting their lungs just enough for them to survive. But it turns out that plain old water was just as effective, meaning the pee was never necessary.
I'm just speechless because y'all gotta realize, like, yeah, we see this animation, and good thing this is animation. Bro, imagine that in real life, bro. Imagine you have to inhale, smell, maybe even taste, put the lips of your lips onto the rag that's soaked in pee. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna end it here, bro, because Zack Films is traumatizing. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here.